Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, this is going to be another Gray Sheep episode, and this involves relationships. And it's crazy how either psychology or just for because of religious reasons and things like that, some of us pursue somebody. I mean, I don't know, there's tons of different reasons and things, but a lot of it is based off of what we witness and seen at home, and also, if you are religious, what you are taught within the church. And I was brainwashed. That's how I feel. That's my opinion. Because the type of guy now, and it's really funny, there's a couple nerd groups or African American women themed groups on Facebook and stuff that I used to interact with. And there were like two or three women who it's like they kept wanting to put religious stuff on there, and they were like, this isn't a religious group. Well, it's Sunday and we need our time, and this relates to my writing, so I should be allowed. And one of them was about relationships and stuff. And one of them, she was just like, everyone wants to know about this book and they're going to want to read it. And I, I put in my info, well, I am the type of woman who would not want to read it. That is definitely not the type of man that I am going to be trying to pursue. And she was like, no, well, I need to teach you. This is the type of man you have to pursue. This is who you're supposed to. And I was like, okay, you might be looking for Luke. I'm looking for lukewarm, because my experience with dating of especially highly religious men, like, no, n- that's very toxic for me. And trust me, I have dated like Mr. Locker. He's on the total opposite spectrum and everything. Like, the only time he tried to pray to God was when he was trying to wean himself off of the special candy. And after lying to me, saying that he wasn't on it, then he got caught with it. And then for like the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time, trying to get clean and stuff like that. And me saying I'm going to break up with him, and he was like, God, oh God, please make sure she can't leave me. God, if I don't have her, then I'm not going to be on this earth anymore. And it's like, yeah, he kept doing all that psychological crap or whatever, gaslighting me and anything and everything you can think of. But before him, while I was in college, I was still trying to appease my parents because they kept calling me a disappointment. They kept saying the only thing I'm going to turn out to be is a maid, and I wasn't going to finish school, and I was never going to turn out to be as amazing as my perfect sister. And you know what? I'm never going to be. And I'm not trying to be, because even like near the end of me finishing my bachelor's, I realized I am not her. You guys always compare me to her. And during college was when some of the most hurtful, awful things, because especially like the maid comments. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, like, because we need you guys, thank you guys and stuff, but it's just really when your parents are trying to hurt you. It's and this is one reason why, again, like, I still haven't done the episode on it, but especially if you're young parents, brand new parents, or if you just had another child and stuff, for each child, have a journal. And whenever you have an argument with that child, go to that journal and write out everything you said, especially the hurtful. Write down the worst things that you said. Because over time, when that child wants nothing to do with you, when they want distance, when they don't want to see you during the holidays, because yeah, I'm one of them. Like, I was working 3 or 4 jobs. I wanted to save for our house. I was trying to get my life together so that I would never have to see them again. I might here and there when I could tolerate it. But once you say that if it wasn't for my perfect sister, that you wish I wasn't here, and just so many awful, terrible things, I was a waste of time. As long as I walk like this, no one's ever going to want me, love me, or marry me. What kind of job is going to be stupid enough to hire someone that is too lazy to walk right? Etc., etc. Oh, you're fat and can't walk. What kind of man's going to want you? And the person saying this weighs a whole lot more than me. Yeah. And then also creating the fat dance and would perform it whenever I ate. So then when they stopped seeing me eat, they wanted to look around in my room. They wanted to look in my car, literally sneaking into like going into my purse, grabbing my keys because I'm working 2 or 3 jobs. So it's like I have a hard time sleeping, but when I have to sleep, and so next thing I know, I wake up and my keys are in an odd place, not in my purse or whatever. And then I get in my car and things are misplaced. But then the same person who said all of these things to me would say I'm evil and I'm mean because I don't spend time with them. But it's when I spend time with them, especially when I am alone with them, this is when they say these absolutely horrible things. And I only pinched the 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 nerve of it. That's just the tip. Just the tip. There's like there's sometimes when I realize why I hate mirrors, why I hate pictures, which will be another episode. But oh my gosh, I hate pictures and I hate looking into mirrors. But having to try to look pretty, to try to date, trying to at least somewhat be adequate. And every Sunday, like even some of the women at church, oh, you're so pretty. I want to introduce you to my son, but why do you walk like that? Or once you walk right, oh, it's like you would make beautiful babies with my son. Yes, someone actually said that at the church. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, your mother didn't teach you right. You can't even walk. Yeah. But then my mom overheard, like some of the time she's right next to me. So when we get in the car, she's smiling. She's happy and she can't wait because when we get home, she'll tell my perfect sister to, leave out the room or whatever and to leave her and I alone. And this is when she starts saying the absolutely terrible, evil things to me. Oh, yeah, you're never getting married. I heard what she said. She said that she doesn't want your son anywhere near her until you walk right. I told you no one's ever going to marry you. No one's ever going to want you. Pick up your feet. No one's ever going to want you. And it's all your fault. She would always, in some way, try to make sure I knew it was all my fault. All the time. All of the time. But then I was the evil person because I never wanted to spend time with her. And she would always say how evil I was. Always. You're such a despicable, evil person. You have no heart. You're so cold. You're so vicious. You won't even spend time with your mother because you call me a mistake. Because you say you don't want anything to do with me. Because you say I'm stupid. Because you say I'm never going to get married, I'm never going to get a job, I'm going to be a failure, I'm never going to move out of this house because I'm nothing. You expect me to be all lovey-dovey with you when repeatedly this is what I hear every single time I'm alone, every single time I'm alone with her. And this is why I was only alone with her when I had to be. Like after job interviews, I would find somewhere else to go. With grad school homework, I would try to. I found like McDonald's and Subways and different fast food restaurants where it's like some of the employees knew me. There was a KFC too in Detroit. There, it's like while I was working on my hospitality certification, where like I would go there and like I would be working on homework. I would order something every 1 or 2 hours, but the plate, like the KFC especially, they were so empty, they didn't care. And like at the McDonald's in Detroit, it's like one of the ladies, she was like, I love when you're here. You inspire me. And it's like I tell my, I think it was her daughter or granddaughter, I tell her all about you and I tell her, keep working, get educated. Whatever you do, get educated. And so it's like sometimes I was like, at least I know I made a little bit of a change. They didn't know the terror and the horror was going on at home, but at least I know I was making a little bit of a difference. But then, like back to college days, yeah, I keep going back and forth because cause and effect. In my videos, a lot of my videos, I go back and forth with things because things have cause and effect. And maybe this is because of my anthropology mind. I don't know. It's just like I love studying the cause and the effects and the before and afters. And yeah, it's like I love seeing that because comparing and going back and forth, looking back and forth in different type orders, it's it's interesting and stuff. But I saw this one guy at my church and I saw him for a few years. But part of me is like, I was like, huh, maybe I'll date him. It's like maybe he's probably not interested in me, but he fits all of my mother's criteria from what I thought. Because I mean, he goes to church, he's black, and he doesn't look a certain like yeah. He looked like he met all of my like, and that's the way I used to date when I first started dating, and then I really like because there were well, kind of, because like there were a couple Caucasian or white guys who were Christian and everything too, and they said they were interested in me. But then when I would ask my mom if I can go out, because yeah, I didn't have my first date until I was a sophomore or junior in college. Like no, I was a junior in college. Yeah, because my parents didn't allow me to go to prom or homecoming, and my mother said I was going to be nothing but a garden hoe in high school and yeah, because she said I was going to be nothing but like some of my cousins and family members, and she would list the family members, but I won't on here because, yeah, some of them don't deserve that. Some of them are the sweetest, nicest people in the world, and yeah. And so, actually, a couple of those cousins don't want anything to do with their parents either. I understand. I understand. So, anyway, there was this one guy at church, and so there was one Sunday where I gave my number after service because we sat in the same row. And I don't know, part of me was like, maybe that's a sign because he kind of kept looking at me, but I didn't know why. And so after the church, like he kept looking back because he was in front of me, but he kept looking back and then he slowed down. So I was just like, why is he slowing down? But anyways, I gave him my number or whatever. And I think it was the house number, cell phone. I think cell phones were just coming out. So, but anyway, he called me and we talked for a little bit and we ended up, I was like, I think he came over to the house and we like, that was like my first date, him coming over to the house and watching a movie on cable and everything like that. And I want to say we ordered food. But then it's like, and my mom, she was so nosy too. But, and I say nosy because I'm like, I'm 22 or 20, like, no, 21 or 22. I think I was 22. But anyway, it's like, but once you realize, oh, he's from the church. Oh, he's so polite. Oh, he volunteers. Oh, he does this. Like, my mom fell in love with this man. And like years passed over the years, like one of my great aunts used to always talk about this man my mom used to date, and everyone thought she was going to marry him, and how somehow, some way, she ended up with my father. And I found out about that too, but that's a different story for a different day or whatever. But yeah, let's just say, yeah, over the years, I'm like, how in the crap did this relationship even start? And why isn't it going to finish? But none of my business. And it's over. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you've been listening, you already know. But, because yeah, she passed away. So that's why. But, mm, yeah, there's some times where that I remember that I never want to remember. But with I think the guy that I saw for I think it was about a year and a half, I think he reminded my mom so much of the man that everyone said that they thought she was going to marry, and he was nice, but it's like over time I kind of realized he doesn't have any dreams, any ambition, and he is fully engulfed into the church. Like that one Facebook girl I mentioned earlier, so you didn't think I was going to get back to that. If she had seen me with him, she would have been like, marry him, get with him. Yeah, he's perfect. Yeah, it's like, not perfect for me. I don't want, like, and there's probably going to be a part two as well because, the next part. But he is kind of like the cookie cutter Christian guy that a lot of black women would be interested in, would like, and everything like that. So, and, but there's so many things you don't know about this guy too. Because, yeah, my mom thought he was so innocent. A lot of these Christian men are not innocent. A lot of them are not. And a lot of them want, well, he's not, well, okay. Because there's like two different types. There's some who they're not innocent, but it's not in bad ways. But at the same time, you're just like, all right. But then there's like another type where it's misogynistic and degrading, and they want power, like instead of submissive, they want power over, and it's disgusting. But they blame it on the Bible, they blame it on the church, they blame it on this is what God wants, so you better listen and you better obey, kind of thing. So yeah, there's different. He wasn't the misogynistic type at all. But I remember when he took me to a concert, but yeah, we ended up late at the concert because it's like he had his hair braided when he picked me up. And then, oh, did he pick me up or did, like, no, he picked me up. And then next thing I know, his mom was like, oh, let me braid your hair. But then they kept doing stuff around the, like, they had me sitting in the basement. But then his brother came down and his brother started kind of hitting on me and saying some really things. That's one reason why I was like, nah, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm good. I'm gone. But lo and behold, like when it was time to go, his hair wasn't braided. It was just on top of his head, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. And so we ended up being late, but part of me was just like, okay, you didn't need to unbraid your hair. And it's like, I mean, this isn't a dress to impress event or whatever, but I was just like, what did you do for like 2 or 3 hours and not get any, like, I was confused. I was so confused. But then I remember, I think he took me to, I'm trying to remember the name of this restaurant, but it was kind of a fancy restaurant. And I was wondering, how is he able to afford this? I was like, but, and part of me was also like, we've only been dating for a few weeks or whatever. So part of me was just like, can we just go to, like, I don't know, it's like something more casual, chill and stuff like that. But I mean, it was like, again, it was beautiful. But I later realized too that when the experience is more fun than then the date himself or herself, that's a sign. That was a huge sign to me because I enjoyed the event a lot more than him. And so I'm going to skip a lot, but trust me, I'm going to tell the whole story in different spectrums later. But I'm just kind of doing this because, yeah, a lot of the stories that especially when I just talked about the um the MTV show where you don't, like, the person who's dating somebody, they don't tell any of their family or friends about you or whatever. It's like I talked about that. And then there are a couple other videos where it's talking about dating and who are you supposed to date and divorce and stuff like that. So since, like, I think this is a great example, especially this is not Mr. Lockakey or Mr. No Heart. And I know some people who listen to my videos are like, how did you end up with these men? Remember, Mr. Lockakey blackmailed me. He tricked me. Literally, yeah. He kept telling me he was going to eliminate himself from the earth if I didn't date him. Mr. No Heart, he kept gaslighting me, and it's like he started off great, but once he saw that I was, you know, in it, he was like, you're trapped, basically. Felt like a trap. And then he kept telling me, you're too old for this, you better not do this. It's like, I can have better ideas than this, why are you doing, like, all of my dreams he kept knocking down, and I felt so defeated. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not smart enough for this, I'm not able to, like, he sounded like my mother. And so now I'm hearing it from my mom and him. And so I was just like, fine, I will do nothing, whatever. But then I woke up. I woke up, especially around the time, like before my surgery, like when my mom passed away and he refused to go to the funeral. I woke up before then too, but like that was an a lot, like such a loud alarm in my head that I think that was a time where I'm like, okay, now it's time to prepare to get out of the relationship. Now I have to abandon ship because this, like, I feel like I'm on the Titanic and this ship is about to hit. So, but back to the Christian guy, like, it just felt like he knew how to take me to great and amazing events, but he wasn't great for me. And so I remember my dad saying, I want my daughter to date a guy with a degree. And yeah, kind of like, yeah, let's just say that was kind of odd. But 2 weeks later, he registered for class and now he's at my university. But I was just like, nah, really? Really? Because I would ask him, what do you, because all this time, like, I never heard him say what his goals were, what his dreams were, what his career path, like what he was thinking and companies he would want to work for. And so once I found out, he still didn't know at all. And I'm like, okay, so what are you going to major in? He still didn't know at all, but I think they told him to start off with communications. So at least he was just going to be like, and some admissions people just tell you to, like, as long as they're getting money, they were like, yeah, just start off with this and you'll figure it out. I'm like, bye, whatever. So, anyways, I knew he wasn't a match for me. And so I broke it off. He didn't like that I broke it off. And yeah, I know I'm going to need a part two to this because there's a lot more that go, oh my gosh, so much more. But it's like, because even with one of the jobs that I had, instead of absorbing college life, he would sit outside the office and wait for me to get off work. And I mean, like, I would be just starting the position, and it's like it wasn't a full time, like, or technically kind of was, but wasn't. It was like, anyway, like with this portion of the job, it was going to be like hour and a half, and he would see that I'm leaving, and so he would sit there the entire time. And a couple of the ladies that worked in the office, they would be like, is something wrong with him? And I didn't know that he was doing that. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong? And they're like, he would sit there the entire time and wait for you. And I'm just like, why? We thought you knew. No. And I'm just like, he goes to the university. Why isn't he at the OC? Why isn't he at like the rec center? Why, like, what? Like, he can be at the library. I don't like, there's so many other places he can be. Why is he sitting in an office in the waiting room? Like, you're a student here. And it's like, you can probably call me or text me or something after. Like, I don't know. Like, you could text me, please contact me after you're done. You can meet me at A, B, and C. So I don't know, just some of the things that just, it was like a red flag, a huge red flag. It was just like, honey, boo boo, I want you living your life too. I want you doing you too. And so yeah, I broke up with him, and I'm gonna kind of start you off, but let's just say he re- he started dating someone else, and I was so happy. I was so relieved, and kind of reminded me, like, even when Mr. Lakaki, when he found his middle school sweetheart, I was like, yes, okay, I finally have nothing to do with him. But then I'm like, but he still owes me money. I try to get my money, but then you're just trying to get him. I don't want a special candy addict who doesn't like, who keeps getting caught stealing from the job, who doesn't know how to do like, I mean, no. When 4 or 5 times a year he's trying to get clean or whatever. It's like, or he's bragging because a police officer pulled him over, but he knows the cards to play and how to cry to get off, so then he can drive home. It's like, and the one time, there was 1 or 2 times. I know one time when the police followed him home to make sure he got home safe, and he said that's how well he knows how to play the cops. And he even said, I'm a white man. I know how to play these things. And I know this happens for a fact because this is the second man that I've witnessed this. Personally, I have seen it happen. And so it's like, with these guys going off to, like, I'm so happy because I'm not a good match for you. Because back with Mr. Lockakey, oh, it's like he didn't like, he loved bomb me at first with getting my second master's, but once I was halfway done, he couldn't stand it. Tried to make sure I didn't, but then he hated that I would just go to those McDonald's and the Subways and do my homework and stuff like that, so that, like, he could not hinder. Because at first I was escaping my house or my mom so that I could finish. So, and he was kind of my escape, but also he was threatening that he would off himself if I didn't date him. So he was like, it was a very odd escape. But then once I was halfway done, I had to escape him because he also did not want me to finish. And so, yeah, a lot of times at McDonald's and Subways and KFCs and stuff like that. But when I broke up with the Christian guy, he found somebody, and like I said, I was so happy. And it's like, I even told my perfect sister, oh, we found someone. Yes, I'm so happy. Because during the time that he did it, he kept begging for me back and trying to ask to get back with me, asking what he can do right or what he did wrong. And I'm like, no, it's just not a good fit. But then I found out he only dated her. And okay, you know what, yeah, I'm going to leave this for the next gray sheet. Yeah, this is going to be a part two. Has to be a part two, because I learned a lot. And even when he got married to a different woman, because yeah, ooh, my mom proved to me even more why I wanted no time with her, because of what happened after he got married. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. Love who you want to love, not who you think your parents want you to love. Because is that really authentic? Is that really true love? Let me know in the messages.